Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. You know, I never really bought into the whole "till death do us part" spiel. I mean, it sounded nice in theory, but life has a funny way of proving you wrong. Or maybe it's just my life. Either way, let me tell you about the time my life took a nosedive straight into a daytime soap opera plot. Bridget and I had been the quintessential lovebirds since college. She was the kind of woman who could light up the room with her smile, and I was the guy lucky enough to catch her eye. Fast forward a few years, and I'm down on one knee, proposing under the starry night sky of our favorite park. She said yes, tears and all, and suddenly we're planning a wedding. Life was good, really good, or so I thought. Our wedding was supposed to be a little over a year away. We had everything planned out: the venue, the guest list, even the band was booked. Bridget was ecstatic, always buzzing about with plans and swatches of fabric for her dress. Me? I was just happy to see her happy. Then came the night that changed everything. Bridget went out with her friends for a girls' night out. I was cool with it. We both believed in having our own space and friends. So I stayed in, caught up on some gaming, and crashed early. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. It was a text from my buddy, Mike, who's known to frequent the same bars. The text read, "Dude, isn't this Bridget?" followed by a picture that felt like a punch to the gut. There she was, my fiancée, cozying up with some guy I vaguely recognized from her high school photos. My heart sank, and a cold sweat broke out. The guy was her high school prom date, someone she'd mentioned in passing a few times. I sat there staring at the photo, my mind racing. Betrayal, confusion, anger, a cocktail of emotions was brewing inside me. But I decided to wait. I needed to hear her side of the story, needed to understand why. When Bridget stumbled in a couple of hours later, the air was thick with tension. She was tipsy and all smiles until she saw my face. "Aiden, what's wrong?" she slurred slightly, her brows knitting in confusion. "We need to talk. Now." My voice was calm, but it was the kind of calm before a storm. Her smile faltered, and she nodded, taking a seat on the couch. I showed her the photo, watching her face closely. The transformation was immediate. The color drained from her face, and her eyes widened in shock. "Aiden, I can explain," she stammered, tears welling up in her eyes. "Explain? Bridget, how do you explain this?" I was struggling to keep my voice steady, the hurt evident in my tone. It was a mistake. He was there, and we were talking about old times, and one thing led to another. But I swear, it meant nothing. She rushed to explain, tears streaming down her face now. "Nothing? Bridget, we're engaged. We're supposed to trust each other, and you do this?" I could feel the walls closing in, the future we'd planned together crumbling to dust. "I'm so sorry, Aiden. I really am. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, can we just forget this happened? I love you." Her pleas were desperate, her hands reaching for mine, but I couldn't. The image was seared into my brain, a constant reminder of the trust that was broken. "I can't, Bridget. I can't just pretend like this didn't happen. I trusted you, and you broke that. I think it's best if we call off the wedding." Saying those words felt like ripping my own heart out, but I knew it was the only way. The room was filled with her sobs, her pleas for forgiveness, but my decision was made. The next few weeks were a blur of canceled plans, returned gifts, and awkward explanations to friends and family. Bridget moved out, and suddenly, the future I'd envisioned was gone. It's been a while since that night. I've had time to reflect, to heal. I realize that life goes on, and sometimes it takes a detour you never expected. I learned the hard way that love isn't always enough, but that's okay. I'm moving forward, one day at a time, open to whatever comes next. And as for Bridget, I hope she finds what she's looking for, truly. As for me, I'm just here, trying to write the next chapter of my life, whatever that may be. Update. It's strange how life throws you back into situations you thought you'd left far behind. A few months after everything went down, I found myself walking into a bar. Not for any particular reason, just to get out, feel something normal again. And there she was, Bridget, sitting at the far end of the bar, laughing with some friends. My heart skipped a beat, old feelings mixed with fresh pain surfacing all at once. I kept my distance, staying on the other side of the bar, nursing a drink, lost in thought. I didn't know if she'd seen me, and part of me hoped she hadn't. After a while, I decided it was time to leave, not wanting to risk a confrontation. But fate, it seems, had other plans. As I stepped out into the cool night air, a voice called out from behind me. "Aiden!" It was Bridget, rushing to catch up. I paused, unsure, but then decided to face whatever this was head-on. She looked different somehow. There was a vulnerability in her eyes that I hadn't seen before. "Can we talk? Please," she implored, stopping a few feet away from me. There was a part of me, a very small part, that wanted to walk away, but the rest of me felt that I owed it to both of us to at least hear her out. So, I nodded, and we found ourselves standing awkwardly on the sidewalk. "Aiden, I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but I needed you to know. I still love you, more than anyone. I know I messed up, but you need to know that," she said, her voice trembling slightly. Her words hit me harder than I expected. There was a time when hearing her say she loved me was all I ever wanted, but things had changed, and so had I. "Bridget, I appreciate you saying that, and part of me will always care about you. But what happened? It changed everything. I can't just forget it and go back to how things were," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I know it's too much to ask, but I had to tell you," she replied, tears glistening in her eyes. "Bridget, you need to find happiness, but it can't be with me. We both need to move on, find people who we can trust, who make us happy without any doubts." "That's not us, not anymore," I said, feeling a finality in my words. She nodded, wiping away her tears, a sad smile playing on her lips. "I guess I knew that. I just needed to hear it from you." We said our goodbyes, and as I walked away, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. It was the closure we both needed, a final acknowledgement of our past, and a silent agreement to leave it behind us. Life is full of unexpected encounters and painful goodbyes, but it's also full of new beginnings. That night, as I walked away, I felt ready to face whatever came next, knowing that the past, with all its pain and lessons, was firmly behind me. Damn, man. It's always sad to see another marriage fall for the age-old trick. I hope you keep your head high and stay strong. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.